Hi again, and now we'll talk about skewers. Now a skewer is very similar to a pin. Here we are also attacking two pieces that are in a line, in a rank file or a diagonal. But in this case we are attacking the stronger piece first. And when that piece moves, the stronger piece, which normally has to move, it will expose the weaker piece, and this will normally lead to a gain in material. Remember that in a pin we attack the weaker piece first, or we neutralize that piece. So when we pin, we either plan to gain material or to neutralize that piece. So sometimes a pin is not forcing, sometimes we might pin a piece and we might not plan to take it, whereas a skewer is much more forcing in the sense that we are just attacking a stronger piece that has to move, and after it moves we will capture another piece and gain material. Let's start with the first very basic position. Here white will play the move rook to e1, give a check, so we are attacking the king. In this case we see that the king has to move. Here, since we're attacking the king, we might also call this an absolute skewer. And here after the king moves, then it would just expose the rook and we would just capture the rook and gain a material advantage. In this very similar position where we have the king on e6 instead of e5, here the move rook to e1 would not be particularly strong because here black can defend the rook. So here actually this move would not be a skewer, strictly speaking. Now let's analyze more advanced positions. Here it is white to play, and black just play rook to b8 and completely missed white's idea, which is a forcing idea. White took on d6, which gives the exchange, but after taking the rook, here black doesn't have anything better. Black might try another forcing move like attacking the bishop, but here white will just play the move bishop to f4. White has other moves, but bishop to f4 is good enough, defending the rook, and white will be a piece up. And after taking the rook, we have this skewer with the bishop, so we give a check, and the king has to move and is not able to defend the rook. So after a move like king to d7, we would just take the rook, and in the end, white is a piece up. In the game, after the move rook take d6, black resigned. In this position, here we have nothing more than a former world champion who missed a very basic tactic. Black just played the move king to h7 and completely missed another forcing idea by white. Here white plays the move d5, and in fact black already here resigned. The main idea is, first of all, the knight has to move because the knight is being attacked, and after the knight moves, let's say to a5 or to e5, here we have the move bishop to b5 and we get another skewer. So first of all, the bishop cannot be taken. There's no way to place a knight in between because we have the pawn. And after the queen moves, let's say queen to b7, we would just take on e8 and win an exchange. Now skewers can sometimes be escaped. One idea is to give a check with the piece that is being attacked and then move the other piece. So we have two pieces attacked. We move the first one with a check or with a threat, and then we move the other piece. Another idea is to capture the piece that is skewering. And a third idea is to block that skewer, that is to put a piece in between. Let's take a look at this example. Here black just played the move bishop to a6, and here we have a skewer because the queen is being attacked. If the queen moves, then here black would just capture the rook and win an exchange. That's why white might think about ideas on how to escape the skewer. First of all, the bishop cannot be taken. The piece that is skewering cannot be taken because the rook is defending the bishop. Secondly, this queen cannot play any intermediate moves, any strong threat, or give any check. And that leaves us with the third option, which is to put a piece in between. And here white actually has two options. White can either play the move knight to c4, and funnily now we have a pin because now this knight on c4 is pinned, but at least we avoid losing the exchange. And the second option is to play the move c4, which was played in the game. And here this pawn on c4 is also pinned, but here we don't have the skewer anymore. So skewers are similar to pins. Sometimes they are called reverse pins, but here we have the stronger piece that is being attacked first. Because of that, skewers are normally more forcing than pins. And similar to pins, skewers can also sometimes be escaped.